1 million Satoshis 5 years from now, I think is going to be extraordinarily big. 10 years from now, 1 million Satoshis, I think it's going to knock your socks off. People in the future are not even going to believe, how did you get 1 million Satoshis? Oh my God, you started so early. This is what I think the future is going to bring you. $190 gets you 1 million Satoshis today. And so when I act, I'm hoping some of you act too, even if it's with $1. It's going to matter. It's going to matter. We've never had this opportunity before in the history of the world. And I am telling you, we don't have a lot of time. I believe with all my heart, this asset's going to outprice you. It's going to outprice the world to where now buying 1 million Satoshis is hard, requires so much work and time. But at some point in the future, it might be worth a year's salary. And at another point in the future, 1 million Satoshis might be 5 years of work, 10 years of work. Tried to make it very clear to you guys. This is a brand new asset like no one has ever seen before. And new asset classes, they last and go up for a very long time. Gold, 5,000 years. It's been going up for 5,000 years, traders. Silver, 9,000 years. Bonds, almost 400 years, 300 plus years, the bond market has been going straight up. For 300 plus years, straight up. You know how interest rates in bonds have hit zero and some negative zero? That means that when interest rates in bonds go down, the bond is going up. We went from interest rates on bonds at 40%, 35%, all the way to zero, past zero negative over the past 300 plus years. That means bonds have been going up forever. The equity market, the U.S. equity market, 185 years. The U.S. equity market has been going up for 185 years. Guys, Apple's been going up for 46 years, Microsoft for 50 years. Do you understand? This is a 13-year-old baby, and only 1.5% of the world has it. That number is not going down. That number's going up. We are early. Do you understand? And the asset went from zero to $20,000 with 1.5% of the globe having discovered it. Where is it going to be at 6%, 10%, 25%? Do you understand this? Do you understand the opportunity we have? The U.S. is 246 years old. Well, actually, it's 246 years old, but the bond market, guys, the first bond was issued by the Chinese hundreds of years ago. The bond market I'm talking about started with the Dutch before the United States was officially formed as we know it. Markets are not specific to just one country. This is one of the things that makes digital property like Bitcoin so superior to every single thing else, because it's always with you. All right, so think about this. You can't even, Americans, and I think this is the case for most people throughout the world, you can't even get on a plane with more than $10,000 of your money and go somewhere else. You don't believe me? Try it. Try getting on a plane, leaving the country with $12,000. I guarantee you miss your flight. You understand? You're going to miss your flight. It's not freaking allowed. It's called capital controls. You can't even take more than $10,000 of your personal wealth on a plane with you to another country. Freaking ridiculous. The building or the house or the property you own, should you have to leave or want to leave, that property stays. You cannot move your wealth with you. If you think the property that you bought is really, really yours, piss off your government and find out how quickly it's really not yours. We've all heard the stories of people getting their accounts turned off, getting their credit card processing accounts closed, getting their bank accounts frozen. All right. Property is really a concept that many people have bought into. Ownership of property is a concept that people have bought into, but it's not 100% true. Do you understand? Even your stocks that you buy, where are they? Who's holding them? Not you. When you buy Apple shares, where's the shares? They're not in your possession. Possession is 9/10 of the law. And in the same way, so in reality, we don't really own our assets in the true sense of the word. There is someone custodying them for us, which is a fake form of ownership. This is why they can be stolen, they can be taken away, they can be closed off against our will, and certain properties can't be moved. And so Bitcoin, when you self-custody it, no one can close it down, shut it off, take it from you, force you to give it up. It's with you at all times. You can walk on a plane with $5 billion in your head and go anywhere in the world. It is the most transportable form of wealth the world has ever known. It's like justice or peace or happiness. You can't touch it. You can't feel it. You can't see it, but you do know it's there, and it has tremendous value, like love. And if love is with you, you can take love on any airplane, any trip, any country, and it's always with you. This is the new world, guys. This is the new world that we've entered. We've gone from an analog world to a digital world where wealth is digital. The things you value have been dematerialized. Your photos, your movies, your mail. Do you understand? And the very things that we honor the most have no physical reality. All right. Gold is old. It's clunky. It's terrible. It's very difficult to verify, difficult and expensive to verify. How do you know that the gold is real? How do you know it's not got some tungsten in there somewhere? Or how do you know that the weight is really what the weight's supposed to be? It's hard to verify. It's expensive to go through a proper verification. You can't move it, and you can't leave your country with it. Do you know how many people got gold confiscated at the border trying to leave Venezuela? Do you know how many people got their gold taken from them at the border trying to leave Russia, trying to leave Ukraine? They stored their wealth in an old technology. Money is technology, guys, and technology evolves over time. All right. And money has moved from physical things like rocks, seashells, tobacco, wampum, beads, all right, coins, gold bricks. Now it's digital. Guys, do you know that anything that requires trust is actually inadequate? Think about this. Our whole legacy system is designed or based on trust. When you put money into the bank, you are trusting someone else to take care of that for you. Trusting that they won't take it. Trusting that they won't do something bad with it. Trusting that it's going to be there when you need it and you want it. Everything is based on trust. And if trust is required, it's a faulty system. It's faulty. If I've got to trust the pilot that knows I've got bags full of gold, that's inadequate. If I've got to trust I had a friend who was trying to move a large amount of gold, right, out of Venezuela on a yacht. He had to trust the people who loaded the gold. He had to trust the people who organized the boat, trust the people who manned the boat. You don't want to have to trust anyone. That is the most secure system of all, when trust is no longer needed. Think of a world where no one has to trust anyone, because what is. Think of how beautiful that world would be. The need for trust can only come into existence if the possibility of something bad or wrong is possible. All right. I have to trust you only if it's possible for you to do something bad, but I choose to trust you. But trust is not necessary if that possibility is not there. And Bitcoin brings about a world like that. It brings about a trustless world, because there can be no faking. There can be no doubting. There can be no falsity. There can be no lies. Whatever's on the blockchain is on the blockchain. It's not like Instagram. You can't fake your value. You can't manufacture a false picture of your value. Do you understand? It requires zero trust. It's right there on the blockchain. And that ledger is open for the entire world to see what your value is. What is your value? You can't ever lie about it. And now I don't need to trust, because I know what your value is. All right. Is Bitcoin mining still being done? Yes, of course it is. So guys, every 10 minutes, more or less on average, a new block is formed on the blockchain. New Bitcoin comes into existence. But let me show you something. All right. Every 4 years, the amount that gets mined gets cut in half. So think of this. Its issuance schedule is already set all the way to the year 2140. There will only ever be slightly less than 21 million ever in the history of life. And we already know when the last little dust of Bitcoin is mined. Every 4 years, the amount that can be mined gets cut in half. And the next 4 years gets cut in half. And the next 4 years gets cut in half. Now check this out. Let me show you something. This is pretty cool. Check this out. This is Bitcoin's issuance schedule. Now look all the way to the left. Look at the red line. This is when 100% of all Bitcoin was available for mining in 2009. Look at how, as we progress, the amount available gets less and less and less. Now look at 2022. Look at where we are, 2022. It's almost nothing already. This is insane. This is the only asset in the world that's deflationary, not inflationary. You can't make more of it. Everything else you can make more of it. You can make more shares of a stock. You can make more dollars. You understand? You can make more buildings. You can make more property. Just build a taller building with more apartments in it. You can make more of every single asset on planet Earth except Bitcoin. It's the first asset to ever be provably scarce and provably finite. Do you know that there's no other asset on Earth that is finite? Gold is not finite. We haven't even started digging on the ocean bed floors, and there's zillions of tons of gold in the ocean floors. It's not finite. There's only one thing finite in the entire world. One thing. Well, there's two things that's finite. Your time on Earth, my time on Earth, and Bitcoin, which is tied to time. It comes into existence. A little bit comes into existence now every 10 minutes. It's tied to time. The two scarcest things on Earth, Bitcoin and time. No asset does this, guys. Look at the Bitcoin supply. Look at where we are in that arc. It's already flattening. By the year 2032, only dust is going to be mined, like gold dust, so tiny, a tiny bit. And so where are people going to get Bitcoin from? They're going to have to get it from the market, which is going to drive the price into the millions and millions and millions. It's just not available. Every market works like this. Limited supply, growing demand explodes the price. Let me repeat that, guys. I'm going to repeat this again. Limited supply. You saw the issue. Limited supply. Right? 1.5% of the world now has Bitcoin. Limited supply. Rising demand, 1.5% goes to 2%, price explodes. 5%, price explodes. 10% of the world, price explodes. 20% of the world, price explodes. This is a mathematical fact. The only thing that can prevent it is if the demand does not go up. And let me tell you this. That 1.5% number, that's not going down. When the internet had 1.5% of the world using it, that number didn't go down. The world had 1.5% of the world adopted Bitcoin by the year 1996. 1996, 1.5% of the world was using the internet. We saw what happened. We've seen this movie before. We've seen what network effects do. We saw that number go from 1.5% to practically 80+% of the world. All right, in a short period of time. Now, the internet, guys, listen to me carefully. The internet was growing at a faster rate than any other technology before it, ever in the history of the world. It was the fastest adopted technology ever in the history of mankind. It was growing at about 64% a year. Every year, 64% growth, 64% growth, 64% growth. Well, the internet is no longer the king of adoption. Guess what the king of adoption is? Bitcoin. Bitcoin is growing at 113% a year. It's almost doubling the fastest growing technology ever known, the internet. Now, Bitcoin is the fastest adopted network technology in the history of mankind. So We're growing at 113% a year, and the supply keeps getting less and less and less. And no one can change it. No one can alter it for thousands and thousands of years. Guys, this is the beginning. It's the beginning of a brand new system, a brand new monetary base layer of value for the entire world. It is going to suck everything into itself. Even the skeptics are going to adopt this. The people who hate Bitcoin are going to adopt it. Think about it. Think about it. There were people who hated the internet. There were people who called the internet a fad. But those very same people use the internet in their daily lives every single day today. It's not a matter of when it's not a matter of if, in my opinion. It's just a question of when. And that when is happening really fast. 113% adoption a year. That's freaking insane, guys. That's insane. This is this is Bitcoin's deflationary picture. Take a look at this. Take a look at this. I showed this in the presentation the other day. Look at the blue. Look at the yearly issuance of a Bitcoin. Look at the blue just drop every 4 years. The blue is the new Bitcoin coming and being mined. Every 4 years, it drops. By 2032, it's practically nothing. Look at the yellow line. That's demand. That's adoption. That's the growth of the adoption of Bitcoin. This is it's already been exploding the price. It is going to continue to explode the price. And so just looking at these things, you should understand why no asset has ever performed the way Bitcoin has performed. Bitcoin has outperformed every asset on planet Earth over every time frame, practically. Over the past 2 years, over the past 3 years, over the past 5 years, over the past 10 years, over the past 13 years. Second place is not even close to Bitcoin. Second place is the NASDAQ. NASDAQ is the second best performing asset on planet Earth over the past 10 years. Check this out. You know that? So the NASDAQ over the past 10 years has delivered 16.1% annualized, 16.1%. Now, just to give you a general idea of how big that is, Warren Buffett became the most popular investor we know, and he's become the wealthiest investor we know, and his annualized gain over the past 38 years or so is 15%. That's it, 15%. That's his annualized gain over 38 years. 15% made him the wealthiest investor on Earth. The NASDAQ produced 16.1% over the past 10 years. That's freaking amazing. All right? The Bitcoin's annualized return is like 124%. 124. Second place is not even in the same galaxy. We've never seen anything like this before, guys. Now, what we have seen is this. This is Bitcoin's deflationary. This is Bitcoin's deflationary picture. And this is another reason why Bitcoin will go up for the rest of your life. Check this out. That's what almost every other asset does. This is the M3 money supply. This is printing new dollars, which debases every other existing dollar in existence. Your dollars go down in value at a rate right now of about 15%, over the past 2 years at a rate of about 25%. But your dollars go down. Every new dollar that's printed debases the value of all existing dollars that were printed before. And so this is what makes all assets basically inflationary. Every asset in the world is inflationary. It is not deflationary. Bitcoin's the opposite. Inflationary, deflationary. The only asset in the world that's deflationary. It's powerful, guys. It's powerful. I get this a lot. People say, Oliver, but what if governments want to ban it? You can't ban Bitcoin. You don't think that it would still, if countries could ban it, it wouldn't be operational today. Do you know that Bitcoin gets jumped every single second of the day? Do you know what I mean by jumped? Do you know that it is being focused on, and it has been teams of hackers 24 hours a day, every single minute of the day, hired by virtually every government in the world, have been trying to crack Bitcoin for 13 years. If every country in the world has a budget to crack Bitcoin, especially the powerful ones, because they have the most to lose. You don't think that if it was crackable, it would be cracked by now? It's uncrackable. It's unhackable. Never, never, never. And get this, every 10 minutes, Bitcoin gets exponentially more powerful, stronger, unhackable. So think about this, guys. Think of a chain. That's why it's called a blockchain, right? Think of a chain, right? Where every 10 minutes, a new link in the chain gets connected. And then the next 10 minutes, another new link gets connected, which makes the chain longer, taller, and more powerful. So if you didn't crack it in the last 10 minutes, guess what? It just got exponentially harder to crack this 10 minutes. And if you hurry up, if you don't crack it inside of this 10 minutes, the next 10 minutes, it's going to become exponentially harder again. Every 10 minutes, it becomes more invincible, stronger, unhackable. And so it's way beyond the possibility of anyone cracking it. This is like the safest safe you could ever imagine. This is the perfect store of wealth, in my opinion. Something that is outside of the hands of other actors, outside of the control of other people. Totally in your possession, real possession, can go anywhere in the world with it. Right here. Always with you. No one can stop it. No one can prevent you from using it. No one can take it from you. There is no asset that can say any of that. And this is why the world is going to adopt it. If I were to ask you, right? If I were to ask anyone in the world, here's 2 monies. Would you want, now you have to save this money. I'm going to give you a choice. You have to save it. Now, do you want to save it in something that you have full control over and no one can ever touch? No one can ever take it from you. No one can ever debase it. No one can ever make it go down in value. No one can make a decision about it. It's totally yours. Or this money, which is totally in control of your government, which can be taxed, which is going to be debased, which can be taken from you, which can be stolen. Who's going to choose this one? No one. Everyone, when they understand, is going to choose the one that no one can touch, that's totally in my control. No one. Ben is asking, will Bitcoin ever get some complex with the blockchain that computers cannot keep up with computing it? I think you're saying, will Bitcoin become so complex that computers can't keep up with the power of Bitcoin? No. And there's something in Bitcoin called, there's something that Satoshi Nakamoto built, which is really genius. It's called the difficulty adjustment. And so what the difficulty adjustment does, I think it's every 2,116 blocks, there is a difficulty adjustment. The network does this without any human intervention. It adjusts to the difficulty rate of what the computers have to do. So for instance, if the difficulty is so high that Bitcoin is not being produced every 10 minutes, it's now being produced like every 25 minutes, right? The difficulty adjustment is going to be down a little to allow for Bitcoin, the complexity is going to drop to allow Bitcoin to be mined faster to get it back to that 10-minute issuance rate. And if Bitcoin starts to be mined every 8 minutes and not 10 minutes, that means the difficulty level is a little too light. And when the block that the 2,116 block comes, the difficulty adjustment raises just a little bit to get it back to 10. And this thing will works without any human intervention for thousands of years. It is a network that needs no human being. Do you understand this? It is a network that is totally devoid of the need for you, me, leaders, dictators, directors, CEOs, owners. Everyone is equal. It's very, very powerful, traders. Very, very powerful. All right. How do I explain China? I don't know what that means, but China banned Bitcoin mining. They banned their people from mining Bitcoin. Bitcoin cannot be banned. If it was banned, it would not be operational. You can't stop it. It's because, think about this, guys. Where do you go to stop Bitcoin? Where's the office? Where's the headquarters? Find the CEO. Let's throw him in jail. Where is he? There is no CEO. Where's the management team? There is no management team. Where's the headquarters? There is no headquarters. Well, where is this thing? Everywhere. It's with me. It's with you. How do you shut me down and you down? How do you shut millions of people down? Bitcoin is us. Do you understand this? You can't shut it down. That's like saying, how do you shut down happiness? Or how do you shut down the air? All of us have the air. It's everywhere and kind of nowhere. It's crazy, right? But I can change value with anybody on planet Earth in seconds. 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, no holidays, without permission, no documents to fill, no approval, no what's your last name, what's your social security number, none of that nonsense. It's crazy, right? You can't shut it down. It's everywhere and nowhere at the same time. You can shut your people off from it and make them poor. China has a history of doing this. It stopped their people from adopting gold. China was the lead country, was the most powerful country in the world. And the world was on a silver standard. Silver was money longer than gold. In fact, China had the first silver coin in the history of the world. They had the most silver on earth, which meant they had the most money on earth. But here comes this newer form of money that people started to adopt. This newer form of money. It looked prettier. It was shinier. And it was harder and rarer to get than silver. This new technology was called gold. And China poo-pooed gold. Nah, let's ban it. Let's stop our people from using it. That's nonsense. Sound familiar? We don't want our people dealing with that. We're the rulers. We dictate what it is. It's still silver. And then little countries, little by little, start to say, no, we're adopting gold. Country by country started to adopt gold and leave silver. Sound familiar? Until China went from the top of the globe to the bottom for 1,000 years. 1,000 years. They stayed at the bottom of the world for 1,000 years. Why? Because they adopted the wrong money. They refused to go to the newer, better, more secure, harder technology. Sound familiar? All right. Same thing's happening now. Gold was the Bitcoin of old, but it is now 5,000 years old. It's a freaking senior citizen. Do you understand? It served its purpose in a world where everybody wanted to feel and touch something. Now we don't want to feel and touch things. All right? We don't even want someone showing up at our door and ringing the doorbell. Remember the days where it used to be happy when someone, the doorbell, and you would run to the door to see who was ringing the doorbell? Now someone rings your bell and you're freaking annoyed. You don't even want a physical person standing at your doorstep ringing the bell. Why, dude, why didn't you text me? Why didn't you WhatsApp me? What's going on? You don't even want a physical phone call today. Right? Dude, phone calls are overrated, man. Just WhatsApp me or text me, right? It's crazy. So we've left the world where holding something physical and carrying it with you, that's old. All right? It used to be appropriate. Now it's not appropriate. The world has gotten too fast to deal with things that take a long time to move. That slows progress down. You need things moving at the speed of light now. And that's why we're in a digital society today. Oliver, please explain proof of stake versus proof of work. This is a decision that was decided by people. All right, look. Bitcoin operates on a proof of work protocol, which is the way all of life should be. Other protocols are like proof of stake. We have proof of stake up the wazoo. Do you understand this? Let me give you an example. I've said this before. If and when you become a master trader, you want that to be proof that you put work in. You want it to be proof. You want people to know, wow, that guy put a lot of work in to get that good. That guy put work in. He put time in. That guy probably had a lot of ups and downs and he survived. That success is proof that he had ups and downs, put the work in, and made it. What you don't want is to say, he got his success by cheating. He got his success because of his father. Proof of stake. Oh, he got his success because he was born wealthy. Proof of stake. That what you have is the result of a stake, not work. So you can be born into a stake, or you can unfairly be given a stake and now have more power than someone else just because your father gave you a stake bigger than everybody else. We have enough of this BS system out there. It's unfair and it's not even as secure. We need proof of work. This is how the world should operate. It should not be your success at something. Should not be. Your reward should not be because of your last name. It should be because you earned it. You put work in to get that reward. All right. Your reward should not come because of the color of your skin. Your reward should not come because you went to this school and that's it. Your reward should come because there's proof that you put in work to earn that. And in a general way, that's what the difference of proof of work is versus proof of stake. In a proof of stake system, the people who have the biggest stake rule you. So if you, for instance, Ethereum as another protocol, another cryptocurrency is moving to proof of stake, why do you think they're doing that? Because number one, they pre-mined the coins, meaning they create it and then say, okay, we get 70% and the people get 30%. That's called a pre-mine. All right. So I pre-mine this. I create this cryptocurrency. I keep 70% for me and I allow the public to have 30%. That's a pre-mine. Now, if I move to proof of stake, I now dominate the network. I control the network, which means that if you have money in the network, I control your money too. In a proof of work system, no one controls the network. Zero. It doesn't matter how much Bitcoin you have. You're the same as everybody else. It's not based on the stake that you have. Do you understand what I'm saying? Proof of work is the fairest and it is the most secure. Every hack in the cryptocurrency, every hack that you hear in the cryptocurrency space is a proof of stake system. When has Bitcoin been hacked? Never. When will it be hacked? Never. Only proof of stake is hackable. But how was that ever a choice? But how was proof of work ever a choice of Bitcoin? Satoshi Nakamoto, in all of his wisdom, understood, like many other cryptographers at that time, that the proof of work protocol was the safest and most secure when it comes to security and money. All right. And basically, do you know who the original expressor of Bitcoin was? It was Henry Ford, right? Some of you may not know that, but Henry Ford was the first person to speak of, he didn't call it Bitcoin, but his idea was the first idea for Bitcoin. Let me show you. So look, almost 100 years ago, Henry Ford proposed an energy currency to replace gold. He believed that a proof of work protocol utilizing energy for a money was better than the current gold system that things were based on at that particular time. So these things are not new, guys. That's the whole point. These things are not new. All right. Proof of work, that concept, that protocol, that's not new. Cryptography is not new. SHA-256, not new. These were things, pieces grabbed from things and put together in this genius way to create the most secure network to ever exist in human history. All right. And if you want to know, guys, how powerful this thing really is, take a look at this. This is Bitcoin versus the top 5 supercomputers in the world. Look at how Bitcoin is far more potent and therefore far more secure and therefore unhackable. The top 500 supercomputers can't even come close to this magnificent miracle called Bitcoin. It's freaking wild. Wild. And as always, guys, people always talk about the short-term volatility of Bitcoin, but if you step back, you realize that over time, which Bitcoin uses, Bitcoin's not volatile at all. It just freaking goes up over time. And I believe it will go up for the rest of your life, the rest of my life, the same way Apple's been going up most, if not all of your life. Microsoft's been going up all of your life. The equity market has been going up all of your life. The bond market has been going up all of your life. This will go up. It's only 13 years old. This is going to go up for the rest of your life.